It was a different world in the daytime. Kintaba was never quiet. Voices filled the air from every direction, traders calling out prices, children running through narrow paths, women bargaining, men laughing in groups by the roadside. Dust rose with every passing step, hanging in the warm light of the setting sun. Life moved fast. Loud. Close. And at the center of it all was Zeritu. Her compound was never empty. People came and went freely, some to greet her, some to ask for help, others just to sit for a while. She welcomed everyone with the same calm presence, her voice soft but certain, her smile easy. Children gathered around her the most. They stayed close, following her movements, sitting near her, watching her as if being near her was enough to quiet whatever hunger or worry they carried. No one questioned it. In Kintaba, Zeritu was seen as something rare. A good woman. A necessary one. As the sun began to fall, the rhythm of the town shifted. And then, he arrived. The sound of a pickup truck rolled into the compound before anyone saw it. Heads turned. Children stood up instantly. Tades stepped out with the kind of presence that filled space without asking for permission. He greeted people loudly, easily, like someone who belonged everywhere he went. In the back of the truck were supplies, sacks, containers, things the town needed. The children ran toward him, their earlier calm replaced with excitement. He laughed, handing out small items, saying a few words to those nearby. To the rest of Kintaba, he was just as important as Zeritu. Someone who helped. Someone who gave. But for a brief moment. As the noise continued around them, Zeritu and Tades looked at each other. Not smiling. Not speaking. Just a quiet exchange that passed as quickly as it came. No one noticed. Except one child. Standing slightly apart from the others, watching. Not smiling. Not moving. Just observing. As evening settled, the town slowly softened. Voices faded. Footsteps became fewer. And by nightfall, Kintaba was no longer the same place. The compound, once full of life, grew still. Quiet. Peaceful. Too peaceful. And in that silence, something unseen remained. Waiting. Ephrem did not laugh like the others. He did not run toward visitors or crowd around with excitement. While the other children reached out eagerly, Ephrem stayed back. Watching. Quietly. Carefully. Like someone who had already learned that not everything was as it seemed. He had been brought to Zeritu after losing his mother. Since then, he had learned to notice the things people ignored. At first, everything looked normal. Until it didn't. It started small. Something easy to miss. Every time Tades came to visit, something would change a few days later. The compound would feel emptier. One child would be gone. Then another. There were no goodbyes. No tears. No explanations that made sense. They've gone to a better place, Zeritu would say softly. And the others believed her. Because why wouldn't they? Who questions someone who feeds hungry children? But Ephrem kept watching. And the more he watched, the clearer the pattern became. The truck. The visit. The disappearance. Again and again. Until the night it became his turn. The rain started before midnight. Heavy. Unforgiving. It hit the roof like it was trying to break through, drowning out every other sound. Most of the children were asleep, curled into themselves in quiet corners of the house. But Ephrem was awake. He had been awake for a while. Listening. Waiting. Then he heard it. Footsteps. Slow. Controlled. Then Zeritu's voice. Get up. He didn't ask questions. He didn't fight. Something deep inside him already understood. They led him outside into the rain. Cold water soaked through his clothes instantly. The night swallowed everything around them. They pushed him into the back of a vehicle. The door shut. The engine started. And just like that, he was gone. The road stretched endlessly ahead. Dark. Empty. The headlights cut through the rain, but only just. Inside, Ephrem sat in silence. His heart pounded so loudly he was sure they could hear it. The men in front spoke in low voices, words he couldn't make out. Then, the car slowed. It stopped. One of the men stepped out into the rain. "I'll be back," he said. For a moment, everything went still. The engine idled. Rain filled the silence. Then Ephrem noticed. The door wasn't locked. He didn't think. He moved. He pushed the door open and jumped out. The rain hit his face like stones. The ground was slippery, uneven, fighting against every step he took. But he ran. Fast. Behind him, voices shouted. The car engine roared. Headlights swung toward him. Chasing. His feet slipped in the mud. He stumbled, but pushed himself back up and kept going. Fear drove him forward. Then suddenly, he changed direction. He ran off the road and threw himself into the bush. Into the thick cocoa farm. Branches struck his arms and face. Leaves tore against his skin. But he didn't stop. He forced his way deeper. Until the darkness swallowed him completely. The car stopped. Doors slammed. The men stepped out. They stood at the edge of the road, staring into the thick darkness. Rain fell heavily around them. But the farm was too dense. Too quiet. Too hidden. They couldn't see him. They couldn't follow. Ephrem was gone. When he woke up, the rain was gone. The air was still. Warm. He was lying on a mat inside a small room lit by soft yellow light. For a moment, he didn't move. Then he saw the man sitting nearby. Watching him. Calm. His name was Bekele. A chairman in Kintaba. A man people trusted when things went wrong. "You're safe now," Bekele said. Ephrem said nothing at first. But slowly. Piece by piece. The truth came out. The children. The disappearances. The visits. The truck. Zeritu. Tades. Bekele listened without interrupting. When Ephrem finished, the room fell silent. Because some truths are too heavy to answer immediately. But Bekele did not ignore things. That same night, he called a few trusted men. Quietly. No attention. No noise. They made a plan. They already knew the car. They already knew the pattern. So they waited. Night after night, they watched from the shadows near Zeritu's compound. Hidden. Patient. Until finally, the car returned. The headlights came fast. Cutting through the darkness like a warning. Then the engine. Then silence. Zeritu stepped out. Calm as always. Untouched. And then, she brought out a child. Small. Confused. Trusting. She handed the child over without hesitation. But this time, they were not alone. From the shadows, Bekele and his men watched everything. They recorded it. Every movement. Every exchange. Every lie. By morning, Kintaba was no longer the same. The compound that once felt warm now felt heavy. Not with comfort. But with truth. Zeritu did not fight. She did not explain. She did not cry. And when Tades tried to deny it, the evidence spoke for him. The same man who brought food in the daylight had been buying children in the dark. The town fell silent. Not because it was peaceful, but because it was ashamed. They had believed too easily, trusted too quickly, and questioned too late. Ephrem stood at the edge of it all. No longer just a boy who survived, but the reason the truth could no longer hide. And in Kintaba, people learned something they would never forget. Not every hand that feeds you is kind. Sometimes, it is only choosing who disappears next.